Do you have a great admiration for people who don't even exist? Do you know histories of fake worlds better than you know your own? Do you geek out? If so, geek out with us here now. It's the Geek for All show.
Hello, it is indeed the Geek for All. I am your host, Geekmeister. With me is my co-host, Winchester.
Hello. And
we've got Lex back with us again.
Hey, what's up?
All right. How you doing?
I'm doing okay.
I'm good. So over the weekend, the three of us at different times saw Logan. And oh man, we've got a lot to talk about. Spoiler alerts up the ass, because it has been out like not too super long, so like most of you have probably seen it, but just in case, we are going to spoil the shit out of this because there's way too much to talk about.
You can't not spoil it without talking about the good parts.
We're not gonna spoil none. Keep listening. Make that choice.
But so I don't even know where to begin with this fucking film, really. Like, I guess let's begin with the obvious. Hugh Jackman's performance.
Jesus Christ.
I felt like this was the Wolverine. Like, okay, we have Old Man Logan, so obviously there's part of it. But I feel like this was the Wolverine we've been wanting since he came on screen. We get the swearing and just the guttural viciousness,
the gratuitous amounts of gore and violence.
Yes,
oh my god.
Getting this rated R was the best thing for this character.
We all really need to thank Deadpool. Just like.
Right? And like
Ryan Reynolds, you are the best.
You're the best, thank you. But that's what it is. Like, Wolverine's never been like, he's always been like the reluctant mentor,
right,
and like all this jazz, but deep down, like, you play off of this beast kind of character, and he's rough around the edges, and if you don't let him swear, like, that's kind of you dumb him down a little bit.
Rough around the edges seems nice. I feel like he's more like broken glass around the edges.
yes.
Like,
it's very true.
It's finally great, because in all the PG-13 movies, you keep hearing them talk about, I'm a dangerous weapon, like, I'm the best at what I do, and what I do is very nice. It's like, we keep hearing them say this stuff, but we've never got a chance to just see why he's like, hey, you guys probably shouldn't fuck with me, I'm a goddamn monster. Like, we finally get to see him just go ape shit on people with those claws.
Yeah.
It is fantastic. Seeing the younger Wolverine, like, in his prime, just going nuts. Fuck me. That's what I wanted.
Which is really good that was so satisfying, because who that character technically is kind of disappointing. That actually, for me, might be the one disappointing thing about this film, is that they used X-24 as kind of just sort of a prop for the plot.
Yes.
Like, he's a plot device. He's just a plot device. And they kind of, like, they gloss over some of the notes of the character, like the father relationship between him and his creator and everything. Like, it's there, but only in the moment of, like, he's upset by his death. Like, we get, like, one look about it. Someone says, yeah, he did that. Go kill him. And that's the entire story of X-24 in this entire movie. Like, other than that, it's just like, it's another Wolverine who's come to, like, fuck shit up.
He's the very obvious metaphor.
Right.
He's the end. And he's the face of the antagonist, and it's very literally Wolverine fighting against his past and fighting against himself, and the whole I was gonna kill myself. Well, you do. Like, ultimately you do. And so X-24 is very much the metaphor in the whole thing. It was interesting. The one thing I did want to note, every time I kept seeing his face, he looked way more, and they did this on purpose, he looked way more like James's brother.
Right.
So he looks like Sabretooth more.
Yeah, no, actually, I think, and me and Lex were discussing this the other day, that, like, basically, like, the function of him is to kind of do X-24, but to also do young, in-fit Wolverine and Sabretooth kind of all at the same time at once, and just sort of satisfy those beats without having to spend an entire movie developing them, really. Like, so they kind of just, like, we're just going to kind of take it all and streamline it into this one character, which cuts some really good things out, but at the same time, we're only getting one more movie like, yeah, let's get those kind of things in there. Let's see this brutal ass fight between the metaphoric Sabretooth and Wolverine, and let's see Wolverine in his prime at the same time, and get that tiny glimpse of what X-24 is supposed to be.
Right. It's clear that he's a cop-out, just in terms of as an antagonist, but just the way they went about him, the feral looks, like, just seeing Wolverine cut loose, just that berserker mode all the time, which is what X-24 was to me. It was fantastic.
Well, and it's who Logan was supposed to be if he hadn't escaped.
If you continue with the Weapons X project.
Yeah, I mean, and going back to your
scary
symbolism,
shit.
I mean, it's not just him versus his past. It's like Wolverine the man versus Wolverine the beast.
Yes,
like it's just
exactly.
Oh, it got me. One thing that did bother me though is he got that bullet from X-Men Origins, like the adamantium bullet.
Yes,
that's where he got it. He got shot in the head in X-Men Origins, and it just gave him, amnesia. The same bullet was used in this movie, and it blew his fucking brains out.
It's true. Well, they did a lot of, like, I was reading the IMDb trivia of it, and the director very obvious, like, he came out and said, he's like, I'm basically ignoring all the timelines. Like, he kind of picked and chose what he wanted to influence, because, like, you see the katana from when Logan goes to Japan. You see, the bullet. Talking about the Statue of Liberty. Like, there's certain things that, like, if you take into, even if you take in the most recent X-Men movie, that's supposed to rewipe and restart a timeline. Or even just, Professor X is supposed to be dead. Like, that kind of shit. Where he picked and chose what he wanted to influence the story.
I mean, the continuity between his first movie with Wolverine, the Wolverine, and this one is fantastic. Because I don't know if you get if you remember the prophecy that Wolverine got in that movie.
Yep.
You're gonna die with your heart in your hand, like, oh man.
And there's a pretty good transition over to one of the best things about this movie, X-23.
Oh my god.
Oh my fucking god. Can we just for a second appreciate the fact that a girl who can't be older than like 12 or some shit acted an entire not entire movie, but acted the first half of a movie in grunts, screams, body language, and facial expressions.
Yeah. He outacted a lot of
I need her and Millie Bobby Brown from Stranger Things in something together.
Yes.
Yeah, make it happy.
Because they're these two actresses that are just this amazing, like, they get thrown into these things. And Millie Bobby Brown, obviously Stranger Things is a little more original in terms of its not necessarily storyline and feel, but it's its own thing. But the girl who plays X-23 gets thrown into this huge franchise and makes this character just like, there's so much history.
Yeah.
And she just, every time she showed up on screen, the first time she decapitates somebody, she walks out of the fucking bunker with a decapitated head and just throws it. And you're just like, oh fuck.
Like, you thought that first scene with Wolverine killing the Cholos was going to fucking set the tone for the movie. No. Nah. That's what sets the tone for the movie.
Yes. But yeah, just the fact that she spends the first half of the movie not actually saying any lines.
Like, the first little tug of war between her and Wolverine, that's what she told me. I'm like,
yeah.
Oh, she's not backing down at all.
No.
And she knows what this dude's about, so yeah.
And it was almost very reminiscent of, because they play on it too, is when Logan finds Rogue. Or Rogue finds Logan, I guess, in the very first X-Men movie, is how I kind of got it, where it's like, when Rogue throws her bag in the when she tries to hijack his truck, basically she hides in the bed of it, and like they're tussling and whatever. Like, I got very much the nostalgic feeling.
I'd kind of forgotten about that scene, but that's a good point.
And like they talk, well, even the so when Logan opens up that comic book that talks about Eden, Rogue's the one he's holding off the cliff.
Oh, you're right.
It's Rogue that he saves off the cliff.
I also have to go back and look at that comic book, because I'll bet that shot where he discovers that those coordinates are from the comic book, that frame right before they're in the comic where there's a bunch of the X-Men all standing together with Professor X, I'll bet that everyone there besides Professor X and Logan are the X-Men who got killed in the incident that they
Yeah.
keep
Oh, yeah.
talking about, because
Absolutely.
Marvel's the kind to just kind of do it that way.
I
and
would
be,
pay good money for just one fucking flashback. Just one flashback of what went down.
Well, and that was the thing that they didn't want to do. Like, they were going to.
Right.
They were originally going to, and they felt that it took away too much of the Professor X and Logan story. Like, in of itself, it would distract too much.
Right.
And like, but it made you want more, which I think was perfect.
Just one flash. Oh my god.
Yeah,
Because they're so
it's so good.
elusive with it.
They are.
it's like the suitcase full of something shiny in Pulp Fiction.
Yes.
Like, yeah, it's that like, what the fuck? And you get glimpses because you see what happens when Charles has a seizure.
Right.
But you don't know exactly what happened. You don't know how long it went, how many other people were really affected by it and everything. I think they give you the number, but you don't know what the ratio really is on that.
And I just have to. This is the best visual representation of Professor X's powers that I have ever seen. Like, it's fucking frightening.
You don't realize how, like, we all know how powerful he is. It's very much established, even from the first movie,
Right.
that he can reach an entire globe's worth of mutants. And that's the point of X2, is that, you know, they use him to hurt other mutants, etc., etc. But the fact that when he becomes unstable in his old age, he literally, well, they say that they classify his brain as a
Weapon
of destruction.
And what is it that the Mr. McCoatfuck says about the scientist? He's like the degenerative brain disease in the world's most powerful mind.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fucking
Terrifying.
scary, dude. And also and that's actually one of the things about this film that's really it's a phenomenal X-Men film.
Yes.
Like, just in general, like, I mean, yeah, it's focused around Logan, and appropriately so for that title and everything, and it tracks and makes sense. But through and through, this is an X-Men story. Like, yeah, go save the mutants, get them to safety and everything from the evil government, corporate people who
Yeah.
are trying to experiment. This is classic fucking X-Men,
Yeah.
except rated R, so you get to see how brutal those fucking powers are.
Oh my god. Like, all the other X-Men movies, it's like a fucking a light show. Like, oh, he got zapped and he got bopped.
Yeah.
Ain't no zapping and bopping happening
No.
in this one, folks. Like,
No one's surviving.
No, if Cyclops hits you in this movie, you're fucked.
You're smithereens. Yeah, exactly.
The bad guys were lucky Cyclops was not in this
Oh.
movie.
Like, it just shows how fucking terrifying. Like, I started, after watching this movie, I started thinking about all the other X-Men powers. Like, if they were in a movie like this. Like, Gambit can turn anything into a fucking grenade. Like, that's
The
terrifying.
legislation starts to make more sense now, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what I said. I was very, like, I walked into this movie pro-mutant hard as shit. I left out of here demanding a registration. These motherfuckers are deadly. Nightcrawler can just pop up anytime.
No, this film does a good job of at least making you think about the other side of that Civil War debate, man.
Oh
Like,
my god! Like,
Absolutely, because when we see the X-Men and the mutants as allies, because they're the underdogs. Even with
Right.
the powers, they're the social underdogs, and we root for them. And to us, because we know them as people,
yeah,
they're not threats to us. We know even when Nightcrawler pops into the president's office, like,
it's still like, oh, guys, chill the fuck out. It's Nightcrawler.
right, you're fine. He's not gonna hurt anybody. We know that these people that we've come to know are not gonna hurt anybody. This movie, though, man,
Like,
there's no holds barred.
Sign that fucking bill immediately, Senator Kelly.
Exactly.
He is a politician I can get behind. Senator Kelly, 2020.
let's do it.
Let's get some fucking Sentinels going.
Yeah.
No, it really brings out like the reality of this fantasy is that, like, yeah, you might want to make it a more even world where people don't have, but like, what's the reality of that with people walking around with powers of that
The reality
magnitude?
is Wolverine is a unkillable metal mode knife having monster. Like if I see him walking down the street now, running, that is terrifying. You
true.
can't stop him. You can shoot him in the head and he'll just get madder.
It's true.
No. Don't do that. He'll only get mad if you shoot him.
Exactly.
Like, I mean, now I'm starting to think about the goddamn Avengers. The Hulk, Jesus.
Right, well, that's the whole point of
Fucking
of fucking Civil War.
Yeah.
Is like
I switched sides. I just
Right?
switched sides.
it's these people have these powers, and yes, they're on our side now. But what about the people that? Because people are dickbags.
Yeah.
Humans, like people are dickbags. So what happens when the dickbags have that power?
Like, even somebody as unassuming as Captain America.
Right. Exactly.
If
like-
Steve Rogers decided to go ahead and join Hydra,
Which he did in the comic books right now.
well, no. That was all due to magic, sorcery, bullshittery. All right, magic, sorcery, bullshittery. We'll give some slack for the magic bullshittery. But I mean, like, let's think about that though. Like, let's say like that really just did. I mean, when we watched it in the comic books, it did temporarily happen and everything, and that's scary. That's fucking terrifying.
Like, I mean, just thinking about even lower level villains like Bullseye. He can pick up anything and kill you with it. Like,
Right.
Purple Man. Well, we all watch Jessica Jones. So it's just, ugh.
Right,
I don't want to
exactly.
live in the Marvel Universe anymore.
No, it's an exciting universe, but exciting is not always good per se.
Or
like,
healthy.
yeah.
Like, even the Punisher. Like, just a madman on the loose with lots of guns that he can
I don't
never...
feel like you even have to qualify that with even. Like,
Yeah.
oh my god, no, just the Punisher. The Punisher exists in that world, and in fact, because he's not super powered, he's considered less of a threat because people aren't thinking it the fuck through.
Exactly.
Oh, man.
No, I mean, and that's what's great about this film is that like you really like you've had a perspective that you probably have had for a really
Right,
really
and it
long
just shouldn't
time,
be out
and you
of
just
it.
like I need to consider this from the other side, like not that like necessarily like the way that the registration winds up going about in either the comics or the movie is okay,
No.
and not that the way that this corporation handles mutants in general is okay, but at the same time you can see why people wanted to do something.
Yeah, again, this movie shook me. It's just like, man.
But backtracking to some of the performances and this because
Oh my God.
the subject was great, but we get so 23 and Professor's one of those two needs to win an Oscar, okay? Are you listening to me right now? You just gave one to fucking Suicide Squad, which fucking again,
God damn it.
I get it. Nobody else was up there for the makeup thing, but fucking shame on you anyway.
Yeah.
And yes, Heath Ledger has one. Okay, if he hadn't died, that probably wouldn't have happened. So now, give us one that is like legitimate, and this is for best supporting actor. Like those two
Honestly,
were
I
incredible.
feel like X-23's performance was up there with the Joker's, like, easily. Well, the Dark Knight Joker's. Like, she took a character and just completely made it her own. Like, X-23 in the comics, not. I mean, she's like this, but not in the way that this actress portrayed it. It was fantastic. Her performance is up there. Like,
There was I don't know how to explain the differences between the comics of X-23 and like there is something different though. There's I don't know, maybe a coldness I think that this X-23 had that
Right.
like a just sort of like straightforwardness like the other X-23 sort of had like kind of like
well, she had a shit life.
she did but she also had a very like she had an opinion about killing you, whereas this X-23 has this sort of beautiful lack of opinion about killing. She just is kind of doing it, and if she's angry about it, it's because you just hurt her and she's mad about being in pain.
Or she really wants some Pringles.
Yeah, exactly. They emphasize more on the theory about bringing up or having a child born in solitary and having children without a support structure or a social structure, or even having like parents, because the women that were running the lab were yelled at for giving them birthday parties.
Right.
So they didn't have the warmth. They had nothing to learn from to have that humanity base. So they were treated like animals. So she acts like an animal.
Right.
Until she realizes that it's safe not to. And it's...
Yeah, she's very much like a puppy.
Yes.
She's excited by everything, but she won't show it too much unless she gets comfortable with it. Her and Professor X's relationship, oh my god.
Awesome. So
That
good.
made me feel emotions.
Well, I mean, that was grandpa and granddaughter, like
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Oh,
like
God,
because
yeah.
like I mean like no, Professor Xavier is technically not Logan's dad. In fact, Logan's technically older.
Yes, very much older.
However, that's totally his dad. Like
Yeah.
straight up, that is totally dad for him. And the fact that like she fits in with that 3-generational kind of like that
Her
was
losing her shit when she saw what happened to Xavier,
Yeah.
like,
beautiful
ugh.
and heartbreaking and perfect.
It is. It's phenomenal. And then you get to Patrick Stewart, who has been playing this role as long as Hugh Jackman's been playing Wolverine. And like Professor X has always kind of been that character that's there, but he's never been in the action of it. Not necessarily in the way that he was here. And you forget how old he is until this movie. And like I guess Patrick Stewart lost like 30 to 50 pounds for this movie, which he's never done for a role before.
I thought he was kind of looking a little bit
Frail,
like
yeah.
frail.
He did
okay.
it on purpose.
Oh, thank Christ.
No, yeah. He's fine, guys. He just adopted a pit bull. It's adorable.
Oh,
yeah.
my God, I know those. Oh. Adorable.
But like all of the scenes where Logan is carrying Charles, they did that. There was no stunt guy on either end. Hugh Jackman carried him up the stairs, wherever, that they did that by themselves. And seeing Professor X as this frail, a little nutty, kind of out of his, this brilliant man who's supposed to be like your teacher, like anybody, like pick a mentor in the universe, and they're gonna act like they probably said something Professor X said, like that's just kind of how it is. And seeing him be this, not 100% was very like shaken for me, because we've known these characters for almost 20 years. When did the first one come out?
99, I believe.
Hold on, I gotta look it up.
I mean, everything to me can be, in regards to Professor X and Logan, can be brought down to one sentence. It wasn't me, Charles. Like that.
Oh my god.
That.
And the fact that Charles
Fucking-
just kind of murmurs at the end, and we don't know whether or not he fully is cognizant of what happened there. Like, he might have died thinking that Logan totally did that to him and just be confused about why.
I mean,
Yeah.
because the fucking speech that he's giving before,
Where
he's
it's like he
just
doesn't
so
deserve
happy.
the good, but then he's like, I don't deserve the good day because of what I, and you're just like, and you think Logan's about to like comfort it.
Yeah. So the first X-Men came out in 2000.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 17 years we've had these characters. And
That's most of my life.
that's
Yeah.
about half. So yeah, having these characters kind of, well, literally wasting away. Like, we watch Hugh Jackman in of himself, like the fact that he's, I don't know how old he is in real life, but playing a character that we've seen so often be very athletic and very much I'm just gonna fucking bounce back from this,
Right.
Limping.
limping.
Like the entire film. He's got
Taking
that limp.
ibuprofen, man.
Coughing.
God damn.
Drinking and having it actually affect him. Like, things like that, just
The scars.
getting his ass kicked at some, at one
Yeah.
point. Like, well, multiple points, but in the beginning, getting his ass kicked by humans for a little while. Like, it's,
Before the arm comes off.
yeah, before the dismembering starts.
Oh god, just seeing the Berserker mode, like, on screen,
Oh yeah.
fucking beautiful.
But it's a stage of him that, yes, that storyline comes around in the comics, so if you're familiar with the comics, but seeing it on screen is something that I don't think I was ready for, because I've seen him for so long as this character that's unbeatable,
Right.
that he'll always bounce back. You shoot him in the face, he's gonna, he literally takes his shot straight between the eyes, and it has no problem. He's like, all right, well, I'm back now, and fuck you. So, like, seeing the character kind of this degenerate, just kind of wasting away and being poisoned kind of thing really was huge.
Yeah, it showed me how much I've taken Wolverine for granted. Just the action of popping the claws is something that you don't think about. It's like Wolverine pops his claws. That's what he does. Like, not being able to get that one out It's just like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And then the
This
scene
is-
where he pulls it out is
Oh my
incredible.
Ugh.
That's what's fantastic about this movie. Not only is it one of the best action movies I've ever seen, it's a fantastic drama at the
Yeah.
same
Yeah.
time. Like the acting is fantastic. The directing was on fucking point.
This is the one X-Men movie that's worth Marvel not having the X-Men.
I agree because
Yeah.
I don't think Marvel proper would have
Right.
had the balls to actually do this.
This is the one reason. This is the one movie that I'm like, you know what? I can live with them being in separate universes. Not one X-Men movie has ever made me feel this.
No, normally the X-Men movies feel X-Men and Marvel in general, like the Marvel proper, Marvel Studios, I guess.
Yeah.
Always feel like comic book movies. They're a little more out there. They're a little more extravagant. They've got helicarriers falling from the sky. You've got, Robert Downey Jr. being this smartass and et cetera, et cetera. But this was way more like Clint Eastwood Western.
Yeah.
Like Last Stand.
Right to the point where they had can you look up really quick what was that movie that they were
Yes.
watching?
Oh shit, yeah.
Because this
Killing is a brand.
Yes, because the fact that they actually decided to go to a Western to find like a little speech that really helped sum up everything that was going on in this film was a great choice. Because you're right, it really did have kind of this Western feel to it, right down to the fact that it's a white dude saving a Hispanic little girl like that,
Right.
like seeing something straight out of like an old Clint Eastwood movie.
It's Shane is the name of the video.
Shane, okay, okay.
And when Charles mentions remembering seeing the film as a child, that was ad-libbed. And it was a memory from Patrick Stewart. That was a Patrick Stewart memory. Like his personal thing.
Oh man.
Oh, fuck you, you beautiful bastard.
Right?
Oh, the emotions going through my heart right now. Just that no wonder he delivered it so fucking well,
Yeah.
man. Like that seemed unbelievably genuine. Like, and you know what? That's what's amazing about this movie is that like, and they've been doing a better job with making superhero movies feel genuine. But this
This was just a great fucking movie. Like, if it weren't for the history of the X-Men and the obvious characters and everything, if this was just a movie, it'd be fucking fantastic.
It would be able to stand on its own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah. No, that's. I think that's what probably was why they wanted to just kind of take bits and pieces from stuff and just do references, is they didn't want this to fit anywhere. This is its own story. This is its own thing about a guy at the end of his life after he's been a badass.
Right.
I did love all the little Easter eggs though. But I'm a sucker for them.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's
No, and-
what we said when we came out of the movie, was that's how you do the nostalgia factor. Like, we're in this world of remakes and sequels after decades of it not having anything, and like, this was the nostalgia factor. The joke he has about the Statue of Liberty.
I was just about to bring that up. Yeah.
Like, you get these little moments, but they're very bittersweet.
Right.
Because none of the memories are actually that happy, but you get these small moments of just like, oh yeah.
little kid holding the fucking Wolverine doll at the end. And okay, so something that I didn't understand for a little while why I liked it, because it was so hokey and I should have hated it, I thought, but I loved it. At the very end, like, they have buried Logan and he's just covered up in stone, and the grave is marked with, your kind of traditional, like,
Your cross.
your cross, like you're crafted together out of two sticks. And Laura, 23, starts walking away, then comes back and looks at it like something's wrong, pulls the cross out, and puts it down into an X, which I was like, why don't I hate that? That's really corny. That's really corny. Why don't I hate? And I realized
It
because
comes down to her performance, man.
well, it not only does it come down to performance, there's actually something really, really much deeper going on there. So rewind to who Logan is, and then when he's burying Charles. Logan's not religious. He can't even think of anything to say at the funeral. He doesn't even mark Charles's grave. Charles is the most important person to him in the world, and he didn't think to mark his father figure, his best friend's
Right.
grave, because he's so unreligious. He just doesn't think about anything like that. And his daughter, at the very end of everything, kind of just did what she would just do instinctually, looks back and goes, no, this isn't him. But he was something.
Right.
And that's why it doesn't. That's why it's not cheesy, because I think it's well earned, and I think it was well thought through to do that. It wasn't just some kind of like, oh, X-Men. It was actually like, no, like she would in the last moments reconsider how she wanted to pay him homage in the final moments that she could.
Yeah. It's just that you were going into like such detail about something so minute and well thought out that it made me realize like this is all starting from X-Men Origin, and for a moment I just remembered how terrible that movie was, and now we've come here to such a beautiful moment.
Yeah, no, for like. And that's the thing. I think that's the other thing. In a world where good superhero movies is starting to become a thing, like, because for the longest time, like, you made a superhero movie, nobody expected it to be good.
No.
Nobody expected anything out of it. It was just supposed to be some dumb summer flick. There's shit on the line for superhero movies now.
Yeah.
Fucking Guardians of the Galaxy 2, $1 billion. No, sorry, that was Infinity Wars. It is $1 billion budget. Billion dollar budget. There is shit on the line now. And X-Men, both through its good movies and its bad movies with the fan reactions to them, has paved the way to doing that.
It's true.
Yeah.
And I think that's why this movie is such a big deal as it is because, like, it is always, like, the franchise has been pushing the envelope on it since the beginning. And sometimes they've fallen short of doing that, but they've always come back around. And in its final moment for right now, because we're probably not going to see many X-Men movies after this, or are they planning on one with the new cast and everything?
Probably with the new cast. This is the last time that Hugh Jackman will play Wolverine, and the last time Patrick Stewart will play.
Right. So at least with
Charles.
the original cast, anyway, this is the last
Right.
hurrah.
They'll
and
probably
everything.
do like the Jennifer Lawrence
and doing
Please God, no.
And so after a whole time of like pushing the envelope on superhero movies as a franchise, this last time with the original two guys has once again pushed the envelope. Like we're now at a new spot. Like this is the new bar that has been set for superhero films.
Like, I mean, then you look back, you're like, we had these great actors, like this wonderful talent, and we gave it to Bryan Singer. Just, you know how many more of these we probably could have had, but we gave it to Bryan Singer. I'm sorry, I hate him.
I have to defend Bryan Singer sometimes. I have to defend him sometimes. And to be fair, okay, let's be fair here. The original X-Men movie came out in 2000.
Yes.
And like what was said, comic book movies, what came out before X-Men? Spawn, the George Clooney Batman movies. It was all like Tim Burton-y, out of the box kind of crazy circus.
I will leave him alone for X-Men 1 and X-Men 2.
Okay.
X-Men 3, was it him? That was
not
Brett
him.
Ratner?
Maybe, I don't know. I blocked that one out.
X-Men First Class, Matthew Vaughn. Then after that the next one. That's the one that I'm upset about. I can't even remember.
Days of Future Past.
Yeah, that's the one.
Well, they just royally fucked.
Yeah,
Days
fuck
of
him
Future
for
Past.
that.
Okay, to be fair, okay, for Days of Future Past though, the big thing that I hated was that it wasn't actually Wolverine that went back in time.
Thank you.
Like they pulled. Okay, that was a bullshit production move because they knew that Hugh Jackman would pull in more money than what's her face, Ellen Page, as a main character. Like, let's be fair here. If you're gonna go see an X-Men movie,
I'm just bitter. Like,
I know.
I blame him
They've
for
had some
ruining
shit.
2 of my favorite comic books. I blame him for ruining X-Men and Superman. I can't forgive him for that Superman movie.
Oh, Returns?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, okay, just really quickly on my beef with Bryan Singer. The X-Men 3 movie is the worst goddamn thing I've ever seen in my entire life. And he had a plan. Bryan Singer had a plan to do the Phoenix Saga, which X-Men 2 ends on.
Right.
And I believe if he would have kept going, that X-Men 3 would have been glorious. But instead, We got the Juggernaut in foam padding yelling, "I'm the Juggernaut, bitch," at Ellen Page.
Yeah.
So.
So he left at the wrong point, and that's kind of.
And then not only did he leave, he left to do a Superman movie where Superman gets beat up by Kumar from Harold and Kumar. So.
And then to come back and then do Days of Future Past as well.
Yeah, it's as if he just wanted to keep attacking me. Me personally. It's just like, you thought I was done? After I had Kumar beat up Superman, check this out. Mystique isn't going to be blue for this entire movie. It's just going to be Jennifer Lawrence acting like Katniss again. Mystique is a hero somehow. Anyway, Logan was fantastic.
It's good though that again we get to this after all of these setbacks and everything. Again, coming back around to the fact that a new bar has been set for Sue, because this really is, I think, the best superhero movie that's ever this is at least as good. I mean, maybe The Dark Knight is like on par, but I think really
I'll put this up against The Dark Knight any day.
I think it's a better film. I think overall it's a better film. I think that the performance of Heath Ledger in The Dark Knight probably rivals the performance of a few different people actually in Logan. But as a whole, yeah, the movie's just better.
Yeah,
it's got a great plot.
I mean, this is gonna get me in trouble.
I always love when you start with that.
The Dark Knight is an okay movie with a fan-fucking-tastic character.
Oh, that ain't gonna get you in
No,
trouble.
okay.
I agree. I agree entirely.
I absolutely agree with that.
Christian Bale in that movie is not holding his weight, really. Like, I didn't really give a shit unless Joker was on the screen. That's the only time I cared.
Heath Ledger kind of stole the show. He kind of stole every
He
scene.
stole it from
Quite
somebody that wasn't really guarding. Like,
that's true.
Although he did steal it from Michael Caine. Which was
big
impressive.
time.
You know about
Big time.
that whole thing where Alfred was actually supposed to have a line
Yes.
during that dinner party scene.
yeah.
That's amazing. That's
Heath
like
rolls
this old
in.
school fucking pro Shakespearean fucking like absolute 100% professional gets thrown the fuck off guard when Heath Ledger just rolls in that make, because he'd never seen the makeup, he had never seen Heath really do the part, and just him walking, he'd forgotten entirely that he had a line because he was mesmerized by what he was looking at. And yeah, that can make a mediocre movie seem fucking amazing.
It's a lot like, okay, so Dark Knight had one or two good things about it.
Right.
That made it very strong. Logan has a much more even pros list.
And it's like all at that level.
It's all at that level. Every so often there's one thing or two things you're like, we could have done without that. We could have done without that.
The CGI on that fence could have been better.
That CGI on that
bugs the
car and that fence
shit
was
on me.
awful. It was awful.
It was really bad. It was a good thing that everything else happening around it was fucking boss as shit.
But I was gonna say it. It's awful.
Oh,
CGI.
but by the way, personal request to the internet and the creators of this film: if you have backstock footage of Logan and 23 killing people in the forest, can you put all of it on the DVD? Because I will watch 80 goddamn minutes of those two murdering people.
I just want to set it to inappropriate music.
Well, then we'd have a Deadpool movie. Let's be fair. No, it's got to be
made
Wind
me
Beneath
want
My
Logan.
Wings. Wind Beneath My Wings.
Yes. Yes.
I was gonna say make a man out of you for Mulan.
Oh, that's good too.
Oh.
Yeah, but then you got the Disney copyright on it.
Fuck it.
Which, okay, by the way, actually, as far as copyrights, the teaser for Deadpool at the
Oh
beginning
my
of the
God.
film, first of all, not only
Yes.
hysterical, how about that middle finger to DC? Like, yeah, we're gonna buy the rights to the Superman theme and fucking insult Superman's whole concept while we're doing
Literally
it.
rub Ryan Reynolds' ass on it. Just, it was so good. It's so good. And
I
it's
love
so
Deadpool.
much like that tone change makes it even more blatant. Like you get this thing where, because, okay, let's be fair, we've seen Ryan Reynolds as multiple times. And so he's walking down the street, and you're like, and I had seen it before I saw Logan, but I was like, wait, I know who that is, because I know.
See, I hadn't actually seen the teaser yet, so I got thrown off. I was like, oh, okay, like things are kind of like really post-apocalyptic-y look, because they did that on purpose to make you think that it was like going to be futuristic and shit. And then fucking like, wait, is this a goddamn trailer like right at the beginning of like after all of the other trailer shit has happened, just right in the beginning of the yes it is, because that's how much everyone is disappointed that Logan and Deadpool can never really get it together.
God, I would kill for
And now they really can't.
Nah, they're kind of that was like their nod of like, this is as close as we're gonna get it for you guys. Sorry, like, but it's like Hugh's done. He doesn't want to do it anymore, which is understandable. The man is, again, 17 years. 17 years the man has done it.
What a fucking way to go out. Like,
right?
Just talk about hitting one last homer. Like, on the way out. Just fucking perfect.
Yeah.
I do wish they killed Wolverine a little bit better. Like,
the death scene was a little hammy on a couple of levels. Yeah, but although
overall,
I do love the final move of him getting thrown into the tree. That was pretty fucking boss.
Like, but I wish a little bit more. Like, they saved it with those additional stabbings. But
yeah.
Like, you think Wolverine, he's got to go out real hardcore, man.
Like, but I think you would have expected that.
True.
Him going down in a blaze of glory.
Right, and the slow drag out thing is kind of like, you know, because that's the thing. Like, Wolverine would be okay, like Logan would be okay going out in a total blaze of glory. He kind of goes out helpless and sort of just getting fucked over, which adds just a little bit more salt in the wound of his life.
Exactly.
Because I mean, I think actually that's the real thing, is that we all love Logan, we all love the character and everything, but he's a tragic character. Like, he can't really end happy. No. Like, that's sort of the whole thing, is that his misery is actually a good thing in the universe because it becomes a catalyst for important things happening.
He's very much a chaotic, neutral kind of character. To make it nerdy, he's very much a chaotic, neutral kind of character. And most times with neutral characters, they're like, fuck it doesn't affect me. I don't give a shit. His misery makes it very obvious of why he cares. Like, it gives him a reason to care. And we don't get to see that a whole lot in the older movies. Because, like, yeah, we saw him tortured and blah in the first one. All right, sort of. Okay. But we don't see how fucked up he really is until we watch this. And it's like, oh shit, you're like millennia later and you are still just fucked up.
Yeah. Like, I would say that the world that they build here, like, they built a very real and grounded world in the world of the X-Men, and it just, I want another movie set in this world.
Right. I agree. Well, we were talking about this last. I think their move very seriously is, as Marvel, ride all of your shit out with all this Avengers stuff. Let it kind of go quiet for like 5 years and like low-key buy back the X-Men rights and shit.
Yeah.
And do X-23 when the actress is actually like a little bit older and shit, and we can kind of actually like do a story about like what happens later on. That, I think, is totally the move that Marvel needs to be making.
That would be great, but knowing Fox, they'll get greedy.
And they'll be like, oh, we're just gonna make $1 billion more and be, you know.
I mean, be cool. I would watch more movies with like her at her age as she currently is.
Yeah.
I'd feel bad about that actress from such a young age consistently playing that character. Like, I'm already looking at it like, wow, she did great. She's gonna need some therapy for this fucking role.
See, but like, that's not the move I think Fox makes. I think Fox forgoes the actress and just hires an older actress.
Probably, and just jumps on the bandwagon of a new
Which
generation.
That is unfortunate, because this actress knows that role. Like, she and again, she like made it her own, so she does it in a way that no one else is going to do it.
Right.
So I'm not on board for that necessarily as much. Like, it's like, nah, like, but that person who nailed this already and already knows this character.
But you've got a point, because so Fox never, they were this, so you had Fox's Marvel, you had regular Marvel, and you got DC. And right now, sorry DC, Fox Marvel, the last 2 movies they've put out, phenomenal.
Yeah.
So, DC, come on now, guys. Let's be fair.
Get it
Come on.
together.
Wonder Woman might do it. We might.
I hope
we
so.
might
I've
do
got
it.
no faith for Dawn of
might.
Justice.
It's not going
No,
to.
but Wonder Woman might do it. It looks really good. I might see it.
It's not going to.
Shut up.
It's gonna be bad just like the rest of them.
Shut up. That's the only thing DC has is the female-run superhero movie.
Like, I mean,
It's the only thing
There
they've
was
got.
some hope in that Batman solo, and then Affleck got frustrated and dropped out on everything but the acting role, which is like,
Yeah.
oh god.
that
And
kind
he,
of tells me everything I need to know.
right, and that's a dude who worked with Kevin Smith. He can deal with all kinds of ridiculousness. I love Kevin Smith, but I understand that like his lack of professionalism can be sometimes like infuriating to work with, like from other interviews and stuff. He should be able to handle fucking anything. He walked out. That should tell you all that you need to know. He got pissed off and walked
universe
out.
is fuck, DC.
But you've got this Fox Marvel studio type thing where, hey, they did great on Deadpool. Hey, they did great on Logan. Hey, we should keep riding this train.
That's true. They're just gonna keep going because
They're gonna
they're
gonna keep going.
And you know
because
what?
they can.
Maybe they've gotten their formula down. Maybe it's
Hopefully.
worth it for them to keep going. Maybe
Like-
they can even find somebody who will do it good.
Honestly, put
X-23.
yourself in the mindset of a really dumb Fox exec, though. Like,
They're gonna make 5 more Deadpool movies.
they're gonna make.
Well,
they're
that's
gonna
fine.
make
As long as Ryan Reynolds is at the head of the ship, that's fine. Go ahead. I will watch
I
Run
think
them.
that
it's
into
even
the
simpler
ground.
than that. I really do think it's even simpler than that. Our last 2 movies that did really well, what do they have in common? They're rated R. Let's just make
They're
it
just gonna keep doing
everything
it rated R. Was Suicide Squad rated R?
No, I was talking
No.
about.
Well, I know,
Fox.
but
Oh,
I'm wondering if Suicide Squad.
No,
was
that was rated
Yeah.
PG-13. It very much should have been rated R, but DC like
because it would have been a
collected
damn
L's.
good movie rated R. But because Marvel
Well,
Studios
no,
will
because it
probably
still wouldn't have saved it from the editing that
That's
is the DC universe.
Yeah, but they may have re-edited it. You never know.
Like as a Marvel
Who is
fan,
editing your shit?
I'm enjoying the shit out of this. Like
Get the
fuck
intern
uppery.
who edited your trailers and let them edit the whole movie.
Oh.
It's awful.
Let's just edit it like a music video, y'all. That'll work.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
All right. Well, anyway, we've ran. If you're not convinced to go see Logan yet, I don't know really what else to tell you about it. Like, it's phenomenal.
Quit making bad decisions like you a DC executive. Make a good decision like you a Marvel.
See,
Go-
Think
see
like
it,
Feige.
see it in the theaters.
This is one for the theaters for sure.
It is.
It's fantastic. It's a great film, and I really do believe it's reset the bar. And I hope everyone else in the comic book movie community is paying attention because this is your new standard. Start working on it.
If you played the X-Men Origins Wolverine video game and went, they should have did this for a movie, here you go. Here it is.
So anyway, that is our review here on Logan. We're gonna be taking off. You guys all have yourselves an excellent evening.
Bye.
The music for the Geek for All show has been provided by Fat Street Beats, Ben Sound, and Purple Planet. Please support their individual pages.